Hi, my name is Kim Hibbert. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a low-carb version of Swedish meatballs and rice. So today for our Swedish meatball recipe, we are going to be using a pound of ground beef, a half a pound of ground pork. We are going to be adding to that 3/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, a dash of pepper, a 1/4 pound of pork rind breadcrumbs, 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're also going to grind up some onions really fine, and we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of those to there. But first we're going to saute them in butter and get them very flavorful, and then we'll add them to the beef. So I'm going to grind these onions really fine in my little food processor here. So excuse the noise. So I'm going to saute the onions for the meatballs, and I have just a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put a medium heat. I'm going to melt my butter, and the butter is going to add a little flavor to the meatballs as well. But I like to saute the onions because the flavor is just nicer than raw onion in there. Okay, so you can see these are starting to get some color. They smell fantastic, and they're just about ready. You see, they're getting a nice golden brown. That's just what you want. They smell great. I'm going to turn the heat off, and that's it. Those are pretty much done. Get them all in there. Okay, so to that I am going to add a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. Mind you, they are low carb pork rind breadcrumbs. 3/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. A 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And we are going to add 1 egg. Some pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon fresh ground pepper. Okay, and we are going to mix this together. Okay, now I'm going to get a frying pan ready, and we are going to fry these up. So we're going to have our heat at a medium-high heat, and we are going to place a little bit, about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. And we are going to take our meatballs, and we are going to roll approximately 1.5 inch size meatballs. You want to try to get them all about the same size. That's ideal, but this is about the size of the meatball. Okay, I think our pan's nice and hot. We're going to go ahead and place our meatballs in here. And turn them down if you have to. You don't want them too brown. And remember, we want them about, 80% cooked, because they are going to finish cooking in the sauce that we prepare. So, okay, so some of these are just about done. So I'm going to start transferring the ones that I feel are pretty much cooked to a separate plate. Okay, now we're going to make the sauce for the Swedish meatballs. So I actually am doubling this recipe. I like a lot of sauce, so you can always half it, so whatever works for you. So the first thing we are going to add is 3 cups of beef bone broth to the pan. Turn the heat on medium-high. To that we are going to add 1 cup of sour cream, full fat sour cream. I'm going to whisk this in. And to that we are going to add 4 ounces of full fat cream cheese. And to that we are going to add 4 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. If you don't have Dijon, you could use regular yellow mustard. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue stirring. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So if you can say that better than I can, more power to you. There's 1 and 2. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. We're just going to wait until this gets all incorporated, and then we're going to add our meatballs back in. So this sauce is just about finished. All the ingredients are incorporated. We're ready to add the meatballs. I want to clarify one thing. I doubled the recipe of the sauce. I did not double the recipe for the meatballs. You can do that, but this time I just did 1 recipe of the meatballs and a double recipe for the sauce. So I'm just going to add the meatballs to the pan. And they can cook for about 15 to 20 minutes like this while you're preparing the cauliflower rice. They can just be cooking and they will get very tender from being in the sauce. They will pick up some of the flavor from the sauce. Okay, now we are going to make the cauliflower rice. So for this we are going to need 1 head of cauliflower, washed and dried. You need to allow it to dry or it will turn to mush in your food processor. So I got my bigger food processor out, and this has been washed, it's been dried. So we are going to go ahead and prepare this. And you know, cauliflower is great. It's got a lot of fiber, a lot of vitamins. It's really healthy for your family, especially if you're on a low carb plan. And it's full of has vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, just to name a few. So I'm going to add probably about 1/2 of the cauliflower in there, and then I'm just going to pulse it. Perfect. If you can see, that's just what you want. Kind of resembles couscous. So you can use this in your couscous recipes, you can use this in your cauliflower recipes. I'm just going to get a bowl to place this in here. Kind of makes a mess, but again, if you don't want to mess with doing it like this, you can buy a bag at your local grocer and you'd be all set. I've had that lots of times. It tastes great, and then you can just add the other ingredients to add some flavor. Cauliflower has a very mild taste, so it's very versatile. You can use it in a lot of recipes, and it will take on the flavors that you add to it. Take a look and see. Yes, that looks great. Okay, so we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan. I held back, I had some extra onion, and I'm going to add a little bit of this onion and saute it before I add the cauliflower. Okay, as soon as I see these get a little color on them, we're going to add the cauliflower. Looks about right. So we're going to start to add the cauliflower. Might have to add a little bit more oil. About a tablespoon. I'm going to use all of this. I'm going to add about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt, a little bit of lemon juice, about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Sometimes I put a little of the zest in there as well, depending on the recipe that I'm using. I'm going to add a little of the parsley that I chopped up. Doesn't that look great? I'll save some for my garnish. Okay, so I'm going to plate this up. Nice bit of rice. How's it look? I can't wait to dig in. It's hot. This is really good, you guys. I hope you try it. This is really good. So let me know in the comments if you try it and how your family likes it, and if you have any ideas for me to do videos on. I'd love for you to share that too. We'll see you back here next time at Kim's Kitchen. Bye!